Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
In Virginia Beach, our locals live the life every day. The art of living the life starts by connecting with what matters most. Happiness. When you visit, you will realize that happiness is a real place and that it is here in Virginia Beach.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The breaking news within the overnight hours and within the past 2 hours is that this huge Malibu wildfire has surrounded the homes of Dick Van Dyke. He's 98 years young, and he has been safely evacuated. And for Rich Zeoli, I don't know if Cher will unblock you on social media. Remember that, how she blocked him on Twitter, now X. But Cher, as well as Dick Van Dyke, they're safe. They evacuated. The videos are unbelievable. But some of you are talking about that on the YouTube chat. As we continue here on the YouTube chat and live, Odyssey World Headquarters at Dawn Stensland, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We've got our great Dan Borowski, executive producer, in the house, and Jimmy Kelly. Hey, you. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you today?
You're wearing a short sleeve shirt.
I know. It's warm outside. Have you gone outside?
Woohoo!
Well, you haven't gone outside
No.
since you've been stuck inside since what time this
morning? It was, cold and rainy. I actually got up early with Lair Bear because he's making eggs he makes breakfast for himself at 2:30 in the morning.
What? It's 65 degrees out today.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's crazy, isn't
Right?
it?
But why is he, what time in the morning?
2:30. He's making himself
Why?
eggs. It takes like 20 minutes to make himself breakfast. Would you do that?
No.
Would you get up
Especially
earlier
because Maisie has very sensitive smell, and the minute she smells that bacon, she's waking up for it.
I love it. Yeah, so I did get the Christmas decorations in the front yard yesterday. Got the deer, got some lights out because it was nice and warm. I hope you're safe because today these high winds and the rain, they are supposed to get very intense this afternoon, by the way. Up to 50-mile-an-hour winds.
What?
High wind watches, especially down the Jersey Shore, especially for them. But for all of us, at least 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then this huge front is moving through. That's why. And so then overnight, we cool down. So tomorrow, the high is just 40 degrees, but sunny. Ooh. So there's that going. So we got that going for us, which is nice. There's so much developing and so much breaking today. I didn't even know where to begin. I wanted to talk more about this report that's just coming out, and the final deadline. We'll get all of it by this Friday, but that's for the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt on the life of Donald J. Trump, that assassination attempt. So the task force, we're trying to get Mike Kelly from here in Pennsylvania, obviously a bipartisan task force. That's what's significant. The headline here, this was 100% preventable. This never should have happened. They came, within an inch of the life, maybe less than an inch of the life of now President-elect Donald J. Trump. Why don't we know more? Why don't they have all of the information from this young shooter. We don't know about his encrypted devices, his bank accounts, so many questions. And we've been saying all week on Kill and Company, and I think, Dan, you and I have said this, that isn't it incredible how much we quickly learned about this Luigi suspect here in Pennsylvania, right? And yet we know nothing about Thomas Crooks. Nothing.
No social
information.
Media. Yeah, no, nothing.
It's just strange. We will have all of these updates. We will have the Chris Smith story. Do you want to talk about that now? Because this is unbelievable. There's so much to talk about. We'll update you on everything. We've got Trump news. We've got more appointments. We've got so much developing and breaking. Great guests right around the corner. But let's begin with New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith giving us some details which are incredible. This is not acceptable that this is going on. There's a push now to create a temporary state of emergency in New Jersey because of these drones. These are the size of a bus or a small airplane. They're over Pennsylvania. So many of you've been sending us video. Thank you. The FBI putting out the word, please send us your information. Call us with the information. And if you want to believe all the government reports, state level, federal level, they say they know nothing. They're like a Sergeant Schultz.
I know nothing.
They know nothing then. Chris Smith, interviewed by Love Martha on Fox. Listen to this.
Jersey Republican Congressman Chris Smith, his constituents have been reporting drone activity over recent days. It's been happening over several weeks. Congressman, good to have you with us. The White House not ruling out anything, not giving us any answers. Neither did this hearing that we just heard some questions in. What is going on here, and when can people expect to get some answers from our leaders?
They should have had them immediately. Last night I was on the beach with Sheriff Mastronardi, and he's doing a magnificent job in trying to ascertain a threat for this. He's the Ocean County Sheriff. Sean Golden's doing the same thing in Monmouth County. So I was there on the beach, and I talked to several people, including a commander for the Coast Guard, who told me that the night before, I was there last night, so 2 nights ago, one of their 47-foot boats, was trailed very closely by more than a dozen of these drones. Now that, to me, is very, very not just suspicious, provocative, and this could be a foreign power, whether it be Putin, or whether it be Xi Jinping in China, or the Middle East. We can't rule any of that out.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Incredible.
A United States Coast Guard boat testified to you that 12 drones were following it in the water in the Atlantic Ocean. Did they tell you anything about the size, what they look like? Were they able to get images? How close were they?
They were pretty large, and they weren't far off the stern. So it's very, very troubling. I called the Joint Base and talked to the commanding officer there and asked, we know we have the capability within DOD to ascertain where it's coming from, even bring it down, and they have it, but they don't have the, quote, authority to do it.
What, from who? See, this is the question, Congressman.
This is incredible. And so you have these drones, and these are not the little hobby-style drones, and they are hovering over a Coast Guard vessel in the ocean. By the way, I did love the image of Congressman Chris Smith along with the sheriff there. And then I pictured I couldn't help it. I pictured Chris Christie in the beach chair. Remember when that happened? But seriously, this is a travesty that this administration...
Get the hell off the beach.
You remember that? So the thing about it is, where's the Biden administration? Now, the FAA has, in fact, ordered the investigation. They have ordered restrictions over the airspace, which they should have done prior to this. But I want you to think about this, that all of this is as a result of you, right? It's just like the election, we the people. You have been sending in videos. You have been calling us. And then we're calling the Congress members and saying, hey, can you talk about this? And that's how this got done, we the people. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, how is it that our government, the Biden administration, asleep at the wheel once again, does not know that these huge drones are not just one or two, swarming over highly sensitive areas, such as Bedminster. Oh my goodness. This is nuts that this is happening. And this is the Biden administration. And that's why I mentioned the Butler assassination attempt, because isn't it convenient that they were asleep at the wheel, incompetent here in Butler, Pennsylvania, to protect President-elect Trump, who then was candidate Trump? Isn't it just a coincidence that they were just asleep at the wheel when Trump is in Butler, Pennsylvania, and whoops, now they've got swarming drones hovering over Bedminster, right? And up, well, not for nothing, but we were asleep and we don't know nothing. What a huge coincidence that is. It really scares me.
It scares me, and it's fascinating to me. That just seems like those officials don't care. And I don't understand why there's such a lack of transparency on this issue. Like, you would think they'd want the public to know so there's not these kind of questions swirling out there. But there's absolutely no rush, it seems, to get that done. And coming up at 11, Dawn, you have Jack Ciattarelli, a candidate for governor, who's calling on, further action from state police and from others that can get things done to try to find out what the heck's going on here in our skies.
Yeah, it's disturbing to me. And I will say this, the deep state, the swamp, they do not want Trump in office. And I'm just pray for President-elect Trump, pray for his family. I'm not even being sarcastic, and I'm not, that I do fear for his security. I know they say they've ramped it up, but remember that that we learned through the timeline that, in fact, there were credible threats of a Middle East terrorist, right, who was in this country, who was taken into custody, who had Trump on his hit list, and that was an active situation. And even though we didn't know about it at the time, but when Butler, PA happened, they knew that there was a credible threat against the life of Donald J. Trump. And that's what makes it even worse. And so by doing nothing, it just tells me it's like when I talk about bias by omission, in the media, bias by omission. This is omitting the higher levels of security and terrorist threats and threats against the life of Donald J. Trump. And so to me personally, the fact that these huge drones are flying over Bedminster, and our future president, who we love, right? We love him. We voted for him. I feel that his life, his protection needs to be in our constant prayers.
You don't think it's aliens?
Absolutely. I wish he'd be safer with the Martians or the aliens.
I agree 100% with you.
So in other words, what I'm saying is I don't think it's our government. I'm not saying that would do something, but by ignoring this situation, by ignoring these swarms of drones, right, overhead in Bedminster, then you allow a potential threat or a potential situation to then be carried out.
And if this isn't a foreign adversary that's doing this, what you're doing is green lighting. You're essentially saying, look, we're not going to do anything if you do it anyway.
Oops.
And
yes, we missed it. Oops.
You're talking about drones flying over critical infrastructure, arsenals. Are they casing the joint for something that might be impending? That's something we need to know. And Maisie brings up a good point. I don't want to, drive more fear. But what if this is just a test run for some armed drones or something? Like, it's petrifying. We need freaking answers on this, Dawn.
100%. So we've been talking to elected representatives, as you know, and the latest. I know Bramnick was out there. He was blasting it. I know we have Representative Chris Smith. Yesterday we've been talking. So on the federal level, on the state level, and then remember, this is happening here in Pennsylvania too. The questions, your questions, you the citizen journalists, thank you, because if not for you, we wouldn't know about this, and there would not be now this embarrassing situation for the Biden administration. So they're being called out. Now they have to investigate. So thank you, Representative Congressman Smith. We'll talk to another representative right around the corner, and this is Representative Pennycook, local state senator in Pennsylvania. She's going to tell us about something that, and we talked about this over the summer. She's been talking about this for a long time. She's way ahead of the national curve on protecting our children. You want to hear this, and this is important information. You need to know about it. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Be right back.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
If you depend on Social Security, your retirement lifestyle may be at risk.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. I have my doubts about where we're going as a country. Much of our Social Security funding may dry up, which is not good for the citizens who paid into that system. Take your money and put it into a crash-proof retirement system. With the crash-proof retirement system, I can supplement or even replace Social Security and not deplete my nest egg. It's guaranteed. This year, I have earned over 14%. We do not have to pay any fees, and you cannot lose it. I have absolute peace of mind because I am protected by crash-proof retirement.
You don't have to wait until our next event to start your crash-proof retirement educational process. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
Is your home cold and drafty, or windows and doors just won't open like they used to anymore? Brighten your home with new doors and windows from Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We offer a wide selection to fit your style and budget, ensuring energy efficiency and aesthetic appeal.
And new doors and windows enhance your home's value and comfort.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Is the troubling rise in AI-generated sexual deepfake images of minors and non-consenting adults. What's most alarming is that the children are the prime targets.
On Monday, Pennsylvania officials, including Senator Tracy Pennycook, Montgomery County DA Kevin Steele, and Pennsylvania Deputy Chief Agis Barraza, announced a new bill that would hold those creators accountable, even if those creators are underage.
This is a crime.
This is the first, Pennsylvania becomes the first state in the nation, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, becomes the first in the nation to pass this type of legislation, which of course will protect our children. We want to welcome in our Congressman, Tracy Pennycook, who was just quoted in the NBC 10 report. State Senator Pennycook, is that not what I said? Sorry. But let's welcome in. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Don?
Doing great. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. This was a really important piece of legislation, and I am so proud of all the hard work my staff, my fellow co-primes did on it. This is really important to protect our children. We know that if someone is looking at child porn, they will have 3 live victims in their lives. So if we can stop child porn, hopefully we can end exploitation of children all the way around. And this was a loophole bill. Believe it or not, the DA's Association told us that they could not prosecute some crimes because there was nothing on the books that defined what artificially produced pornography was, or as we call it now, child sexual abuse material. And so we got to work on this bill, and I'm so proud that we got it across the finish line, and it is now in law.
And so I want to play, Dan Borowski, our great executive producer, has audio from a teenage young lady who has been interviewed across the nation. She hopes, as well as I know that in Texas, Senator Ted Cruz, they're hoping to make the legislation that really you have been at the forefront of. They're trying to make this a national issue. And this young lady was actually a victim of this very type of situation that you are trying to prevent here in the Commonwealth. Listen in.
Actually saw this photo in your friend group.
Well, I mean, the student that did this took a photo, an innocent picture off my Instagram, and put it through an editing tool to strip my clothing off. My innocence was stripped away, and it was sent around my entire school, which my class alone is around 600 students. So my entire school of 2,400 students had seen these images, and they were on social media for 9 months.
Oh my, Senator Cruz, first of all, thank you.
So she was on, and very poised for a teenager, who's still in high school and 15, 16 years old, and obviously a horrifying situation. For you, Senator Pennycook, could something like that now happen in Pennsylvania? As far as if it happens, does your law go far enough to make sure that something, even if it happens, cannot remain out there for 9 months?
Absolutely. So the nice thing about this law is this defines what artificially produced pornography is. So you can't Photoshop, like we just had in Lancaster Country Day School. Mm-hmm. You can't take the junior tennis team, morph their faces onto the bodies of grown women, and then put them in pornographic videos. That is now against the law. You cannot do that. And as in the case in Lancaster, they are now prosecuting those individuals that did that. I think also the key, and please know this is a beginning bill. This is not the last we're going to see of regulations around bad actors using artificial intelligence for nefarious reasons. We are going to have to keep up with the times. We're going to have to, modify and adapt as artificial intelligence modifies and adapts. But, the big tech companies need to be able to take this down quickly when they're notified that this is out on the internet. It is very damaging to children and to young kids. I mean, I don't know if you remember what it was like to be 13. I didn't have social media, thank God, but it's a tough time. You're already, kind of growing into your own skin and trying to figure stuff out, and no one needs this. And I'm glad that we have this in Pennsylvania. I would love to see it go nationwide. I think it's the right thing to do to protect our children. And once, people start looking at child porn, there's no telling what they're going to do for the next gratification. So I think we need to nip it in the bud. This bill closes that loophole on artificially produced or manipulated photos, and it's a really good thing for Pennsylvania's children.
Yeah, it sure is. Now, what about those cases where, and I know I'd interviewed during the campaign of, locally Neil Young. He was actually one of the teachers, educators in a school where 7th and 8th graders were doing this kind of thing. It wasn't as maybe professional looking as some of these AI images, but they were taking, the faces of teachers and coaches like Neil Young and then putting them in an inappropriate situation. They were busted for that. And the teachers at the school were saying, maybe you should take our pictures off of the website and think more about this kind of situation. But what about that? I mean, kids as young as 12, 13, they might want to do a prank.
So I will tell you, this bill covers not only children, but also non-consenting adults. So they would also be covered under this bill. They did not consent to have their photo used and manipulated. So they would also be covered. But I've got to be honest with you. Prank, as the district attorney for Montgomery County said, you're still going to be prosecuted. It's inappropriate. Kids will be kids. That mindset is great until someone else gets hurt. Putting someone's face on, another body, using AI to do it is now illegal in Pennsylvania.
Which I think is fantastic. And also to your point, it's really, we have a lot of antiquated laws because look at all the technology, the technological booms, right? And so you really you were co-sponsoring this. And so you helped, I think, update and modernize this type of law to even define this.
Yep. And I think it's important to note that this was a bipartisan bill. This was not a party bill. This was bipartisan. I worked with former Senator Jimmy Dillon and current Senator Lisa Boscola. And this was not a party issue. This was we're parents. We're worried about our children. We're worried about other people's children. We can't let AI destroy children's, self-esteem and their mental health. So we came together to get this done. And I hope that there'll be a lot more of that in this arena, that we recognize that common sense has to take hold, and we've got to protect our children.
Yeah, Tracy, I know you, obviously represent parts of Berks and Montgomery counties. I have so many of our viewers, listeners, they're sending in videos from, especially Montgomery County, that Pico station that's right off Wentz Church Road. And so they've said these drones, these huge drones, the size of a small SUV, are flying over these sensitive areas. And we have this, obviously, we talked about New Jersey, it's happening. Are you, as far as Pennsylvania lawmakers, are you hearing about these drones here and what's being done to investigate it?
So we are hearing about the drones, and I'll be honest, with my military background, I'm very concerned. We need to be shooting them out of the sky and figuring out who owns them. This is, in my opinion, a national security risk.
Yeah,
we need to know where they're coming from and what they're doing, especially if they're close to our infrastructure, our electricity, our water treatment plants, our water sources, our military installations, our national, our defense industry complex. We need to be very concerned. We build helicopters here in Pennsylvania. We build Bradley tanks in Pennsylvania. We've got a lot of national security issues here, and I think we need to be very, very concerned. And I think the sit back and wait approach is the wrong approach. We need to be aggressive, get them out, take them down, find out who is behind it. And I think we need to be a lot more aggressive in that.
Yeah. And you're joining, others, especially in New Jersey, who are calling for that. You're somebody, Tracy, Senator Pennicook, you were somebody who served. I remember talking to you about this, your service in operations as an operations officer, Desert Shield, Desert Storm in the Middle East, and so on. We think of that terror threat. We think about what's going on in the Middle East. We're in the midst of a transition where we have a lame duck president and then an incoming president. Does the climate, if you will, the political climate, add to your level of concern, especially with your military background?
I think right now, being a lame duck session, I'm very concerned. Syria and the regime change in Syria right now has made the Middle East very unstable. I have a daughter serving right now in Iraq, so I'm hyper aware of what's going on over there. I'm very concerned. But you also have to add in the millions of illegal aliens that have come into this country that we have no real information about. We know we have about 13,000 that are on the terrorist watch list that come from nations that support terrorism. So we don't really know what's sitting in our own backyard. So in my opinion, Trump can't get here fast enough. He cannot take office fast enough to shut down the border, to start getting rid of the gang members that are murdering our young people, the fentanyl that's coming across the southern border, also killing our fellow Americans. I mean, we've got to put Americans first. And I look at every inner city that's struggling and say the money that we are spending on illegal immigrants should be spent on those schools that are failing, our veterans that are suffering, and our older Americans that need help. This is a tough economic time, and we're not doing enough for Americans first, and it has to be Americans first. Our senior citizens deserve that. Our children deserve that. Our veterans deserve that. That's why we pay taxes. And to spend it on someone who came here illegally from Venezuela or Colombia or China or the Middle East. Sorry, America is the greatest country in this world. And to get in, you have to be able to bring something to the table to be an American. You have to have that spirit in your heart. And so many people have come here legally, and they do not deserve to be pushed aside in favor of someone who broke the law to get here. It absolutely cannot happen. We need to refocus on taking care of Americans, rebuilding our infrastructure, rebuilding our country's economy. We've got to focus inward. We have got to do that, and as quickly as possible.
Senator Tracy Pennicook, as far as you are known as somebody who tries to reach across the aisle, bipartisan legislation. That's what we were leading with, some of your bipartisan legislation. Is there a way that you can find common ground on the issue of, what you just talked about? In other words, making Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, not a sanctuary state, if you will. I know it's not entirely, but we sure have a ton of our counties. I'm broadcasting from one of them, Philadelphia, but as well Montgomery County. I mean, we talk about this. There were some protesters outside City Hall who are critical of Mayor Sherrell Parker in Philadelphia, saying she's not really speaking out strongly enough or at all about making sure that Philadelphia is a sanctuary city. Are you talking to your fellow lawmakers here in the Commonwealth to say, hey, we can all find common ground to at least agree that these criminals who've come here in a time of, high crime and terrorist threats, can we all just agree to get the criminals out? Is there any kind of conversation or action on that level?
There hasn't been right now, but we, have just had an election. Yeah. We will go back into session in January, and I hope there will be conversations, because at the end of the day, nobody wants a criminal in their backyard. No one wants a sex offender in their backyard that's come here illegally and is now draining from the public coffers, in food and housing, when we have Philadelphians that need that support. So I hope that we can get there. This idea that we need to open up our country to everyone is wrong. We need to take care of Americans that are here, that are working, that are struggling. We need to take care of them first. And you need to come here legally. You need to earn the privilege to be an American if you're from another country. Go through the process legally, and then if you get in, great. And if not, then you need to make your own country better. But it's not a free-for-all. It's not an open border. It's not hey, everyone can come. It's, hey, you've got a significant criminal history. You're a murderer. You're a rapist. You're a pedophile. We don't want you. We do not want that in Pennsylvania or in the United States. So, yeah, I hope we can work across the aisle to make sure that we keep Pennsylvanians safe and prosperous, and we can hopefully work to deregulate some of the challenges and barriers to businesses coming to Pennsylvania. We want to have a lot of great jobs for Pennsylvania kids, whether they go to VOTech, whether they go to university, whatever they do, we want to have great jobs for them so they stay here and they make Pennsylvania their home and they build families here. And that's what we want. That's the end game here in Pennsylvania. So I hope we can work across the aisle. I certainly will continue to try, and I've had great success doing it. So I really try to find people that I can work with, and I've had good success with that. Almost every bill has had, bipartisan support. So I'm going to keep doing it because just that's my philosophy. You have to work with people, and regardless of party, we can all find common ground.
Amen on that. And of course, you're tapping into the fact that you and your husband, small business owner. I don't know if there's such a thing as a macho woman, but you're one of those. You are a macho woman to me. I mean, military chopper pilot. You know what I mean? Like serving over there in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I think the world of you, and I really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Listen, if I don't chat with you, have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Senator Tracy Pennycook. Just always love the conversation. I know you do, too. Really appreciate all of her hard work. And also, mom, wife there serving Montgomery County, Berks County. But that's pretty cool. Chopper. I should have asked her, Dan, if maybe they said, well, to try to catch these drones, would she go up there in the chopper?
Ooh.
I
bet she would. I bet you've asked to be like, yeah, I'm ready. Call upon me. Let's go.
Love it.
Yeah.
So,
she's a BA, that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So if you have thoughts on it, and we really covered a lot, but I love the idea of hopefully they can come to some bipartisan consensus, right, on just getting the criminal element, those that they know are accused criminals or on a list, right, and they're here illegally, non-citizens. I think we can all agree, get them out. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Well, I'm way over. We'll take a break and get your thoughts. Be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Trish Zioli. So I was thinking the other day about how many people would love to have access to my browsing history. All the data that I'm looking at. I mean, this is a crazy time in which we live. People love to profile you, but I don't have to worry about any of that because I've got Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo, and I use their secure VPN, and this keeps my data encrypted no matter where I am, when on the road. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you a 30-day free trial by going to DuckDuckGo.com/1210. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Privacy Pro for less than $10 a month. You get that VPN to secure and encrypt your data on any Wi-Fi network anywhere, even at home from your internet service provider. You're also going to get personal identity theft restoration if, God forbid, somebody steals your identity, and personal data removal. They're going to keep scanning, finding your data, and removing it for you. That's incredibly important. All that for $10 a month. Are you kidding me? You got to have this in this day and age. So go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210 and sign up today for a free 30-day trial. DuckDuckGo.com/1210.
Looking for the confidence to walk away from the 9-to-5? Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules. At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212. It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210 WPHT.
Are you a Swiftie? Remember?
Are you?
I have been to one of her concerts before with Stacia.
I have too.
With Maisie, you were. I like her okay. To be honest, when Stacia and I went years ago, it was Ed Sheeran opened, so I liked Ed Sheeran better.
Are you an Ed Sheeran fan too?
Yeah, I love Ed Sheeran.
Maisie's obsessed. We go see.
Love.
I've seen Ed Sheeran like 3 times.
Love.
Yeah, it's worse each time.
So Stacia was pregnant at the time, huge Swiftie, and so there was a storm locally. It was. I don't even know if it was the Wells Fargo Center at this point because this is like almost 11 years ago. And a huge storm. So Ed Sheeran was on, and then we were waiting, and it was pouring rain. And we said, she's never going to come on. Well, supposedly Taylor came on stage.
Wait, you left?
We were like...
Hold on. You went to a Taylor Swift concert and left before Taylor came out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we were like, I think we were in the parking lot. And they announced that she was returning.
Did you at all consider going back in, or you just screw it at that point?
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, no, because I think we left, and I don't know if they let you re-enter at that point. You know what I mean?
So it was not a life-changing experience like many report.
No. So I've always felt bad about that, that happened.
Well, people are paying thousands upon thousands of dollars to go see her now, and you dipped out before she even came out.
I would have to ask Stacia. I don't know if she would want to go to. I don't know if she would want to right now.
No.
Because of everything. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody. But Taylor Swift obviously was last year's, right? Time Magazine Person of the Year.
Yeah.
So we have to get you on record because we went on the so Nick, Greg, and I, we were and Phil, we were getting everybody on record. Who do you think will be the Time Magazine Person of the Year? Now, I think we all can agree it should be Trump, right? Survived a near miss, survived the assassination attempt, is the comeback story of the world, right? I think he's the man of the decade, not even the year, but I fear that he won't get it. So I have put my money on Princess Kate. Cancer survivor, hasn't spoken out about it much.
Yeah, but she hasn't been really anywhere. I mean, and it's terrible what she's gone through, and she's suffered through tons of conspiracy theories and all. But compared to some of these other names, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, as you said, the crazy revolutionary figures within the past year emerging. Trump with the assassination, the fist in the air. How awesome of a cover would that be with Times Person of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Or
it should be Trump, hands down, or it could be Elon,
I think
or
it could be Elon
Joe
too.
Rogan.
Yeah, well, I don't know about Joe Rogan.
Could be because of the streaming, the fact that this was much like when JFK was the first president elected after television and televised debates.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time that the podcast and the streaming and all that influenced a presidential election.
Yeah.
So maybe they would do that.
I don't know that. All right, so first off, it would be shocking to me, and I'm surprised that more than half of their nominations are right-leaning conservative, nominations. But when you think about like Times Person of the Year, what they're striving for is, 50 years down the road, you look back at this cover, and it's like, wow, this person was indeed a revolutionary figure, and this is when they burst onto the scene, or this was a big year in their life. I think if you're looking at all those names, the name, if not Donald Trump, which I think might be too controversial for the editors to consider, which is sad but true, I think they might go with Elon Musk, because I think 50 years down the road, when we look back at this time, and while he is indeed a controversial figure himself, not for conservatives, but overall, I think he'll be remembered similarly to Edison or Tesla or some of the innovators of their time. So I think it's important to recognize him for that.
And not Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli prime minister, who's, obviously highly influential, has gone through the terrorist, had to lead his nation through the terrorist attack on October 7th. What about Bibi?
Again, I think he's rightfully due for it. I think he deserves it. If I'm sitting there in a editorial meeting, do I want the controversy that comes with it? And at this point, when you're Time Magazine and over again, you've proven yourself to be someone that isn't in favor of conservatives, so that means a lot of your readership is left-leaning. Are they the progressive type that are anti-Israel to the point that they're going to stop reading your magazine too? It's something you sadly need to consider.
And what about Yulia Navalnaya, who's known as the first lady of the Russian opposition? Her husband was the leading, opposition leader, Alexei, and he died. They allegedly murdered, assassinated, and so she's somebody who speaks against Russian President Vladimir Putin. I think they'll go for a woman because I just think that they're DEI, and they want to pivot away from Trump, or you know what I mean. I think that's why they'll go for a woman, and that's why I thought Princess Kate would be safe. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I just think they'll go all like you said. They'll go try to pivot and go for the woman thing or go for something different than political. That's my little take. 855-839-1210, the number to call.
Now that you say Navalny's wife, it's probably going to be her.
Like she's,
and because you think of Hollywood and the way that when the documentary came out, you got such Oscar hype and all. If Time's wanting to have relevancy and not go with someone like Trump or Elon, I think the name here is Yulia, because you advance a story that Hollywood's interested in, maybe get your name recognized again.
To raise the awareness about her plight. Her husband died in prison. They allege that he was, she comes out and says, because she's safe here in this country, but she accuses Russian President Vladimir Putin of murdering her husband, assassinating him. So, just let us know, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Trump, the right thing to do is President-elect Trump. That's the right thing to do. But let us know if you think Time will have the courage to make Trump the man of the year, person of the year, as they say. 855-839-1210. Want to hear from you. And, there is no greater time of year to give back than the holiday season. That's why my friends from Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're partnering once again with the Salvation Army for the Great Piazza Toy Drive. Visit any of their Pennsylvania or Delaware Piazza Premium showrooms, and that's through December 16th. I hope you do this even when you're out and about shopping. Maybe just grab one or two extra toys for children, and then you just donate that new unwrapped toy. Your support, of course, is going to make the holidays a bit brighter for a child who is in need right now. Find the dealership nearest you online, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Thank you so much. happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah. Tell them Dawn sent you.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Business owners can count on McCausland Lock and Alarm to secure and control access to their facilities. Enjoy peace of mind while their access control and CCTV systems provide top-of-the-line protection for your assets. Tom McCausland's wealth of experience allows McCausland to effectively protect all types of facilities in any environment, and their customer service is unmatched. Call today, 610-430-1500. 610-430-1500. McCausland Lock and Alarm, securing your business, securing your future.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, it's good for everyone to know you have the technology and the people to help. Like John, that guy is an artisan of teeth.
Having the expertise or the knowledge, having this equipment added to that just allows me to get those consistent, efficient results, and it builds up your confidence in my abilities. Having somebody like John, who's been in this business for decades, is a big help. He's able to come in using this equipment, and he helps me build the case as I'm actually doing the work. And that is unbelievably second to none for that, because that is a benefit I'm blessed with, to have that ability to have that lab here.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
By the way, the breaking news right now, we have the wannabe assassin scumbag who's alleged in a Florida courtroom from the attempt on, Trump there in Florida. Remember, while the president-elect then candidate was golfing. At the same time, we also have on Capitol Hill, we have the committee meeting as this morning. They're scheduled to meet, and they've been meeting talking about the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's going on. And then I've been going through this 180-plus page report, and this is on the Butler plan, the Butler assassination attempt on Trump. And the bottom line is, as I go through it, and we'll get you the details as we go through this, but the bottom line on Butler, if you look at this, is just abject failure. And they had to review 20,000 pages of documents. They conducted, dozens upon dozens of all of these interviews, local, state, federal agencies. And so this is a 5-month, the culmination of 5 months of investigating what went wrong so that they can make sure this never happens again. And so it is strongly worded as essentially they're saying failures, especially at the level of the Department of Justice, Biden's DOJ, failure, could have protected, could have prevented this. And so this is the task force that's making all of these recommendations. So they did interviews, they investigated, and then once their investigation was complete, now the next part of this, the next piece, is to make the recommendations to what needs to change. So they went through and they say, number one, they failed. It's like what was the movie? What we have here is a failure to, the word was communicate, but this was a failure to plan properly, the failure to execute the plan properly, the failure in leadership, and then even failures in the aftermath of what happened, the failures within the FBI investigation, and the fact that they won't even give up all of this information. And so just the failure to put up a wall and say, no, we're not going to give you the information you're requesting.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Thank you. Cool Hand Luke, which is on, I don't think, we always go through these lists with our sons, Larry and I, so we got to make sure they watch, and that's on the bucket list. They've got to watch Cool Hand Luke,
Yeah. I got to watch Cool Hand Luke, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, because it's like that classic, like the movie. You obviously found that clip. You're so quick. It's amazing. But these are the classics that you got to get. So you and Maisie, my advice, as parents, one of the things you want to create your list, create a song list.
Yeah.
Like Larry did. That was his.
I don't know if you want to know what's on that song list. There's probably a lot of Ed Sheeran and Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
But if you have a boy, like Larry played Beautiful Boy on the way home from the hospital, and they love John Lennon, right?
Nice.
My beautiful, beautiful boy. So we still.
Did you guys sing it then?
We did. We sang it. We played that was on Larry's play. So you have to come up with your list, but your movie list too, because you want your kids to be savvy.
Yeah. Cool Hand Luke's on that list for you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then music, AC/DC. I mean, all of that, right? Got to get with the program. This is Beautiful Boy. It's such a sweet song. But it's not nice that he should have said both of his sons. That's my little John Lennon in heaven. Have no fear. As we talk about, I have no fear because I'm looking down at my latest report on the little shield guarding my online privacy. And I think of DuckDuckGo. That little cute little ducky face may look all friendly, the little app, the DuckDuckGo app on your phone. But to me, it does represent a fierce protector of my privacy. And that's so important to all of us, right? Personally, professionally. The idea of just being followed or tracked, it just gives me that uneasy feeling. But that's why I'm so grateful for DuckDuckGo's Privacy Pro. This is an added layer with a subscription. This is a wonderful subscription service. And this is why you need to try this out for free, 30 days free, duckduckgo.com/1210. It's a threefer. The threefer, 3 services included for the price of 1, which is incredible. The VPN secures your connection anytime, anywhere. Full device protection with their encrypted VPN, and it's built for speed, simplicity, and security with servers across the United States and Europe. Number 2, the personal info removal. I love this because they're going to track down any of these sites that are storing or trying to sell your personal information, and they're going to remove it. I love it. And then number 3, identity theft restoration. If, God forbid, your identity is stolen, DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro, they provide a specialist that will help restore your stolen accounts, recover the financial losses, and help you correct your credit report. Wow. Those 3 huge services, all for the price of one, but you get it for free. 30 days, free trial. Do this now. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. I want to hear from you. Are you liking it? If you're in the midst of your free trial, let me know. And then after the free trial, $9.99 a month, DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell them Dawn sent you.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Jack for New Jersey. I always think of Jack Chitterelli and how Zioli said, don't stay home, don't believe the polls, and how many of you called in and said, I'm so sorry, Jack, I really stayed home during that election. But now Jersey has gone more red. I mean, they're calling Jersey purple. Let's ask our friend Jack Chitterelli. I hope you're doing well. Haven't talked to you in a little bit, my friend.
Hey, Dawn, it's great to be back, and New Jersey is definitely in play. Our performance in 21 and Donald Trump's performance of a couple of weeks ago, the nation is finally paying attention to this purple state.
Yes, amen. So, I don't know, maybe those drones were messing with our signal. I know Dan's going to fix it, but tell me about your reaction to the situation right now with these huge drones over sensitive areas, places like Mar-a-Lago, or places that are military installations or, critical installations for infrastructure, and your reaction to this huge drone issue that's now making national news.
My reaction, Dawn, is similar to New Jersey throughout the state. It's infuriating. The governor said they posed no threat. And a couple of days later said he was frustrated by the lack of cooperation from the Biden administration. And then yesterday, the FBI testified that they don't know whether or not these drones pose a threat. I mean, this is just incredible. And so here's a state with one of the largest military bases, Fort Dix, one of the largest Air Force bases in McGuire. We've got one of the best equipped state police in the country with everything they have. And why is it we can't get to the bottom of what it is that's happening? And what concerns me greatly, Dawn, is as people become more and more infuriated, I'm hopeful nobody takes matters into their own hands. But given the level of frustration and uncertainty and the potential threat, you can't rule anything out.
Yeah, it's so true. Over the years, when we talk about Donald J. Trump, I know that, there were times when you got quiet about Trump. I look at some of our chats and people say, does Jack like Trump? What's your relationship with him? He's obviously very popular right now. And how will the Trump effect impact your run for governor?
Well, I said what I said, Dawn, about Trump back in 2016, as, by the way, so did J.D. Vance. Yep. Today, he's the vice president.
Yep.
I supported the president in 2020 because his policies worked, and was all in for him again here in 2024, campaigning for him up across the state, attending his fundraiser, writing the check. And so Donald Trump is exactly what we need at this point in time in our country's history. So I'm all in. Our relationship is solid. And when I'm governor, I look forward to working with him on behalf of not just our 9.3 million New Jerseyans, but the entire country.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to get you on record. Obviously, already some of your future opponents, let's say, are talking about Trump. So just want to get that out there. And when's the last time, you met with Trump, and would you ask for his endorsement?
Absolutely, I would ask for his endorsement. He performed phenomenally well here. So obviously New Jerseyans agree with me. A great many New Jerseyans agree with me that Donald Trump is in the best interest of the nation. So, I was in his company a number of times back when I was a Somerset County commissioner because of his affiliation, obviously, with Trump National in Bedminster. He was a guest speaker at our county events. So we've been in each other's company before, and I look forward to being in his company again sometime real soon.
Yeah, I know. Congratulations. In the headlines in New Jersey, the fact that the Ocean County Commissioner, Ginny Haynes, has endorsed you, so you're gaining those endorsements. Would you, a couple of things I wanted to just lead off with you as far as the offshore wind, the turbines, as far as looking into and investigating, let's say, the previous administration talking about the nursing homes in New Jersey, a huge story, as I'll never forget that chilling audio of the health czar in New Jersey under the direction of the current administration, obviously under Governor Phil Murphy. And they said that they wanted to make sure that they knew that COVID sick people would be ordered go into the nursing homes. And I remember that video, audio, Jack, where the audio of a nursing home, care operator said people will die. And there was this silence.
There was this long, pregnant pause, because you're exactly right, Dawn. On that conference call with Murphy's administration, one of the nursing home owner-operators said, you do realize if we do this, people will die. This is the governor that opened up the nursing homes but closed the schools. Yes. Closed the schools for 24 consecutive months, causing significant learning loss with our children. While he opened up nursing homes, we had the highest death rate of any state in the country with regard to nursing home deaths, and particularly in the state-owned and operated veterans nursing homes. Thousands of veterans died because of this policy. So, I continue to remind people that when you think about who was most vulnerable to the virus and who was the least vulnerable to the virus, and yet this governor opened up the nursing homes but closed the schools. Did it make any sense at the time, Dawn?
No. I mean, it was crazy. And I think, Jack, we're now at a time where I believe this, that the baggage of all of those shutdowns, and here in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, I'm not shocked at the red wave. I just think now it's time to pay. And so for me, I just wonder, within this campaign, is that something that you'll talk about, not just reforming these issues, but making sure that we pull back the power within the executive branch, much like in Pennsylvania here. In other words, we were able to vote and pull back some of those executive powers of then Governor Tom Wolf because he overreached. Is that something that you would want to talk about and open up that conversation as far as there's so much power within the governorship in New Jersey?
You're exactly right, Dawn. By state constitution, the New Jersey governor is the most powerful in the nation with all the executive powers that he or she may have. And so I said all along, based on Phil Murphy, what he did during the pandemic, over 200 executive orders that totally bypassed the legislature, an equal branch of government. It was government by fiat. And it's the reason why we had so many deaths in our nursing homes. It's the reason why we destroyed so many businesses, particularly on Main Street. It's the reason why we had such significant learning loss, because he shut down the schools for more than 2 years. Why? Because he's owned by the teachers union. So I've said all along that it's time to reevaluate whether or not we need to roll back some of the executive powers of the governor. But let me say this. On day one, executive order number 1 under Governor Cettarelli, no town in our state will be a sanctuary city, and we will not be a sanctuary state. That gets back to what you were speaking to about the support for Trump. People have had it with these kind of policies that only encourage illegal immigration and make our local communities less safe. And there'll be other things that I'll change through my appointed attorney general that will support local police. Let these trained professionals do their job. If people want safe communities, we need to get the handcuffs off our local police. Let them do their job.
Yeah, amen on that one. I mean, I had mentioned the Ginny Haynes endorsement. It's significant, obviously, because she's well-known. She's served a long time. I know she was the RNC National Committee woman. I mean, she's a 3-time Trump delegate. So as far as those types of endorsements moving forward, whose endorsements would you be willing to talk about, or who else are you meeting with to get those coveted endorsements, either on the national level in the Trump administration or in New Jersey?
It's all the above, Dawn. Let me say this. I mean, the single greatest endorsement outside of New Jersey is obviously the president, and we do hope to have his endorsement. Inside New Jersey, I pride myself on getting up and down the state each and every day, 564 towns, 21 counties, North, Central, South, and Jersey Shore. And I'm humbled by these endorsements as they continue to roll out almost on a daily basis from very prominent, well-respected community Republicans. That's what's really important to me, that we're getting endorsement of people who are out there working on behalf of their community each and every day. And certainly Ginny Haynes is one of those people who's most prominent. I mean, if you look at her track record of what she's accomplished over the years, the way she's gone about her public service, and the respect that she has, I'm humbled by that endorsement.
Yeah, absolutely. On a lighter, brighter note, holiday plans, Christmas plans, what's up with the Cittarelli family?
Well, I'm blessed with 4 children, and we were all together over Thanksgiving. Look forward to all being together over the holidays. My gift is to take them into New York one day, and we get a brunch, and then we go see a Broadway play, get a meal, and then do something else in the evening. So, looking forward to it. It's a time of thanks, and certainly the Cettarellis have a lot to be thankful for, and I look forward to spending that quality time with family.
Absolutely. Well, if I don't talk to you beforehand, Jack Cittarelli, you can follow him, Jack for Jersey, and have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks, Jack.
You too, Dawn. Thank you. Looking forward to next time.
Absolutely. Me too. So Republican Jack Cittarelli, he obviously had launched, last spring, Dan? I think that was when he launched his big campaign. No surprise. But I will say, it's who else has, I'm trying to think of who else has announced officially, the radio host, right? Is he announced, or is he?
Spadia's out, yeah.
Spadia's out, right?
Yeah, I think he's already announced.
Spadia, I should say.
Is that Spadia? Sorry, I've read the name a lot, yeah.
The guy
Don't mean
who's
to disrespect it anyway.
The guy who said that he would not go to his own kid's graduation because he wasn't going to wear a mask. That's the only thing I know about him, is that one time I heard him, he was saying he was not going to go to his son's graduation because the school said he had to wear a mask. And I was like, okay, either you're lying or you're a bad person.
That's tough, yeah.
Come on. Or maybe it was just like a shtick on the radio. I'm not really sure. So we got that going on. But, we've known him for a long time. But I do remember, the one thing I remember with Jack Cittarelli was just that whole election was a 2021, and people felt awful that they didn't get out and vote. And I think that we've learned some long lessons, even in the last election, where I think everybody feels good about the fact that everybody got out and vote. And if you see something, say something, you were calling in, you did the right thing. I saw, where was it? Daily Caller. They were giving a shout out to Michael Watley, Linda Kearns, all of our friends here locally and nationally with the RNC, Lara Trump as well, who's now stepped down from that because I think she wants to be a Florida senator, but really giving them the kudos for making sure that everybody do not get dissuaded from voting. I think it's just so important moving forward.
Trucker Ed is out there. He's going to be running for governor, state senator from the 3rd District.
Oh, he is? Ed Durr is?
Yep.
Okay.
Robert Canfield, real estate broker. Jim Fazzone, the mayor of Burlington City. Spadia, Chitterelli, and then we just booked him for the Dom show coming up at 12:30. He has a lot to say about the drones. State Senator John Bramnick also declared as a gubernatorial candidate.
Yeah, and I would think, so Bramnick, he's somebody who's North Jersey. So then does it become a North Jersey versus South Jersey guy?
Ah.
So then, there's that going on.
Yeah. Also potentials, Holly Shapizi's on there. Mario Kranjak, who's a former mayor of Englewood Cliffs, has discussed it in the past.
I like Holly.
Yeah?
I mean, I like her just as a person. I would interview her all the time when I covered, obviously, the legislature and Trenton. And, I like her, but I don't think she really has a chance, to be blunt.
Yeah.
About it.
How about over on the Democrat side? You think Steve Sweeney will make any waves?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah?
Of course.
Even after losing to Trucker Ed Durr?
Well, I think, I think that Sweeney is still a huge name. But you have to think about the time. And that's why Jack Chitterelli, when he talked about this, that right now, think about the way Jersey, you're a resident of Jersey, so you know. Mm-hmm. But this is the way that people have gone. And I think that people are furious over what happened in the schools, what happened with Murphy during the pandemic, the nursing homes, everything Jack was talking about. And so I think the culture right now, the time and seizing the moment, I think it goes to the Republican.
Also declared Sean Spiller, now that you mentioned education, president of the New Jersey Education Association.
Ooh, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's right. Not a chance. So, I don't know. You can let us know if what you think about that future. I think about another campaign because I think I didn't even run in a campaign, but we're all exhausted from the last elections, right? It was exhausting. And it's still exhausting as you think about the cabinet picks. And by the way, we haven't even begun with all the hearings. January 20th, then the hearings commence. But I do think that's why Trump, he wanted to quickly get his cabinet out there, all of his picks, get them vetted so that they know the lay of the land when he gets in there January 20th. So they're good to go. Do you know what I'm saying? 855-839-1210 is the number to call. You can call in, give us your opinion. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Life without hearing aids can be frustrating.
Andy, did you hear what she just said?
No, I'm sorry. What did I miss?
I said I got the promotion, Dad. I thought you would be excited.
You're missing out on the important moments of your life because you just can't hear them. It's time to try the Jabra Enhanced Select 500.
our smallest, most advanced hearing aid. With proprietary speech clarity technology, even the most complex listening situations like a noisy restaurant are crisp and clear. And you can get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional care you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. Get Jabra Enhance over-the-counter hearing aids and stop missing the important moments. Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Total Wine & More has your holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad, Cabernet for your sis, champagne for a co-worker, the world's greatest wines. With free curbside pickup, save money and time. Winter liqueurs like peppermint cream turn a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price you'll shout out with glee when you shop Total Wine for them and for me.
Curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. When life gets too hectic, it's time to retreat from the noise.
My name's Carmen DePasquale. I have been a retreatant for about 26 years. I came alone. I literally read it in a bulletin and decided that this might be something that I'd like to do. I literally took a leap of faith and I thought, well, let me see what this is about. And if this is right for me, I always felt welcomed even though I didn't know anyone.
Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice. Go to malvernretreat.com.
So anyone can really feel welcome here.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat and nothing. Don't raise the white flag. Call the White Dove. For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. Plus, your membership comes with annual inspections, exclusive discounts, and priority emergency service. Oliver is proud to be recognized as a winner of the Brotherly Shove Business Spotlight. From all of us at Oliver, thank you. Promotional support by First Trust Bank.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So let me know your thoughts on the next governor of New Jersey. We won't have to hear New Jersey ever again.
No Jersey.
No Jersey. But, you know, I do think that the never Trumper issue is the issue. Just me personally. And so I think that it helps Jack.
Remember, we are New Jersey.
And I think it hurts Bramnick, who's been a never Trumper. And it hurts the other Spadia, the radio guy, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Because they're never Trumpers.
Yeah.
So that's my take.
I just wonder if someone like Trucker Ed, who's been strongly in the Trump camp from day
That's
one.
True.
You know, is that someone that, because you look at all these cabinet picks, and while Vance is, you know, one story, a lot of them are indeed picks of people who have been loyal to him for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's Ed or if he would consider someone like Jack, or it's gonna be interesting because I do think, you know, that's really the, if not the most important factor determining the primary here.
Yeah, that's true. No, and Ed, we got to know Ed. He's a great human being. And so he had announced, maybe May. I want to say in the spring they all announced Bramnick, Jack Ciattarelli, Ed Durr, who we got to know well. There were problems, I think, within the Republican Party in the South Jersey community with Ed. So I know that, they primaried him, right? Did they primary him? I'm trying to remember that whole thing. And then I got in trouble because what did I say on the air? Oh, because he didn't want to do a debate. And then I said, well, the incumbent doesn't have to do a debate. It doesn't behoove them. They do that all the time. And then they got all mad at me.
How dare you?
And then, Matt Rooney. Then I was busting on him. I was like in a feisty mood that day. So then I said, well, what does the weekend guy have to say about it? Or something. And you know I love Matt Rooney, and he's a brilliant attorney. But they're like, oh, now she's dishing on Matt Rooney. So I was like, oh, geez, I'm going to shut it. And then I think at some point Ed called and said, still love you, Dawn. Thank you. So I don't know. I think that we have such a great community, so I hope that we can bust each other's chops sometimes. What audio do you want to go to right now? What update do you want to do?
Did you want to go back to the Luigi Mangione updates?
Yeah, let's do that. There's so much. I want to get into this reward because I think this is a shame that I was looking up if the McDonald's employee here in Altoona, Pennsylvania, right? He reportedly tipped off the police and said, hey, that guy with the mask over there, he sure looks like the suspect from New York who's the accused killer of the CEO. And so sure enough, the arrest happened. Now they're saying there are all these rules with these kinds of rewards with Crime Stoppers, which is the $10K by NYPD, and then the $50,000 from the feds, from the FBI, that you have to wait for the quote unquote conviction to get the money, but they have some discretion over whether or not you get it or how much you get. So that to me is that's not good if they don't give him the money. I think that employee deserves the money. But in any event, Luigi Mangione, I'm not sure if it's a silent
Well, it's
E.
Chuck Mangione, right?
So I think it's Mangione.
Yeah, like Luigi Mangione.
Yeah. Luigi Mangione. I don't know. But anyway, he was, he had his outburst. We've talked about this since 6 o'clock this morning. So the latest, though, that you haven't quite heard all of his attorney as he was, surrounded by reporters here in Pennsylvania outside the courthouse. This is Blair County, Pennsylvania.
I heard it's already been reported that we waived extradition, so if you're going to report something, get it right. We did not waive extradition, and we're not going to waive extradition. And if you were in the courtroom today, you heard me say that we haven't gotten any evidence, haven't seen really anything yet. So we got to take a look at stuff, and we're gonna fight it tooth and nail. You know what? I haven't received anything. I got paperwork, and I want to meet with the district attorney, and we'll have hearings. We'll be able to see all that, but I haven't seen anything.
Are you, as a human being, aware of what happened in New York over the last week? Were you aware of this before you were retained?
I don't have a whole lot of time to follow the news. I, of course, knew of it, but I don't follow a lot of things sometimes in the news because sometimes the press gets things wrong. Like I said, I was very irritated, getting some backlash already that some news agency had indicated we waived the we waived the extradition, and that's what irritates lawyers like me is if you're going to print it, get it right.
Do you find it surreal that you're now representing the guy they've been looking for?
I don't know. No.
Right. It seemed like on the bench you guys were sharing a little laugh. Have you formed a little friendship with him?
Sharing on the bench? What do you mean on the bench?
When you were sitting up there at the table, you were kind of have you formed a little friendship with him?
Yeah, I mean he's my client, and I want him to have trust and faith in me, and I have trust and faith in him, and we're human beings, and we have a relationship.
Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Relationship.
Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Well, I'm trying to, that's why I talk about presumption of innocence, things like that. I'm hoping to instill that trust in the system with it. Again, I can't comment any further.
So that's the attorney outside the courthouse. They are, yes, fighting extradition. That could delay things at least 2 weeks or maybe a month even. Obviously, New York wants him back. And he's still not charged with first-degree murder. He's charged with second-degree murder and then charges surrounding that so-called ghost gun that was made by a 3D printer. They've said we're learning more about motive. And Dan, you have audio of is this the former roommate from Hawaii?
From Jesse Waters last night. Mangione's roommate joined and gave a little inside look as to who the roommate truly is. Take a listen.
Hey, did this guy do drugs?
Absolutely none that I was aware of. We were roommates for about 6 months at Surf Break Co-Living, and the entire time that he lived at Surf Break, he was a great community member. He kind of followed by our values and our ethics to leave things better than you found them. He was always contributing, taking care of other people, and even after he moved out, he came and hung out and contributed to the community, spearheaded a book club. He and I became closer friends, working out, going to yoga classes, playing volleyball. He's the kind of guy who was doing his best to take care of himself, despite having some severe back pain and a severe issue.
So he had the back pain, but was doing yoga and volleyball and messing around like that. Was this affecting his sex life?
So he was athletic as long as he could be. I know there were days and perhaps even a week at a time where he was bedridden. So he was doing what he could when he could. I couldn't comment about his sex life or, any of our roommates' sex life, just out of respect for their privacy.
I totally understand. So did he ever mention?
So that was on Jesse, if you missed it last night, getting word from the friends, because we had word. I think the reason Jesse Waters was asking about the drugs is I had reported yesterday that some friends were saying that he was self-medicating with psychedelics and mushrooms and had just changed and then went off the grid. And even the family had filed a missing persons report for him in California, in the San Francisco area. All these people looking for him. So what happened? What snapped? We don't have the answers. But at this point, this 26-year-old young man who had every opportunity in his life is now the prime suspect charged with second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, nation's largest health insurer. And, the tragedy here as well, and the sick part of this, all these threats. The McDonald's in Altoona, the police in Altoona who arrested him, they're getting death threats and all these different threats. Even NYPD they issued the warning to all of these different individuals who are investigating him, and even to other CEOs or healthcare professionals that are in the managerial spots, that there are all these death threats going on. It's just what a crazy time we live in. It's bizarre to me. And then the people, and we played this all morning on Kale and Company, it's the bizarro love fest for an accused killer.
I got the tattoos, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Go like and subscribe, showing right now that people are now getting to honor this guy. Tattoos on their, looks to be their thigh, or is that their upper arm there?
It's weird.
Yeah, defend, deny, depose on bullets. I also have the TikToker that slams the worker who reported. Do you want to hear that, Dawn?
Sure.
Okay, so they've arrested our hot CEO assassin. Turns out his name's Luigi. He's 26 years old. He's an Ivy League grad. Did his undergrad and master's at Penn in computer science. This is my type. He's a little young for me, but... baby, what is you doing getting caught eating at McDonald's? And curse you, McDonald's employee, for turning him in. But I get it. They upped the reward to $60,000. Maybe you needed that money. I never understood those crazy women that wrote inmates in jail, but
now you've become one.
I could see myself doing that.
Ew. These individuals, they need a job. They need a life. I don't even know. It's bizarre. A new headline, he's a mega podcaster, Joe Rogan, suggesting the public's lack of sympathy or empathy over the United Healthcare CEO's assassination is because of the dirty business that the victim was involved in. A dirty business. I just think we have to be really careful. That's all, and talking about this, especially Joe Rogan. He has 50 million, whatever, listeners. Come on, people. This is just, we need to condemn anybody who condones an assassination in broad daylight. Not a good thing, especially since we have a healthcare crisis in this nation. Hello, 855-839-1210. More breaking news right around the corner. Thanks for being here today. We really appreciate you. Be right back.
A strong storm system will bring periods of rain heavy at times through the day today. It'll be windy and warm with a high 65. For tonight, rain comes to an end during the evening, windy and turning colder with a low 35, and a mixture of sun and clouds on Thursday, windy and chilly with a high near 40.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me!
That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee, if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
The story about artificial Christmas trees being more eco-friendly. I'm a big believer in getting them real. I don't know how you gentlemen feel about this, but I am a big believer in getting real Christmas trees because they help the family farms. Kirk has a real tree. Good for you, Kirk. I'm glad to hear that. You support the family farmers, Kirk?
No.
You know, you said you have a real tree. That means you do support the family farmers.
Yeah, sorry.
Kirk's like, I have a real tree. I'm helping out. You support the farmers? No. F those guys.
Yes, I do.
Rick Cioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app. Don Stensland, weekdays 10 till noon, only on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
So Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman has just posted his first truth. Just seeing this. The Trump hush money and Hunter Biden cases he writes about were both BS, and pardons are appropriate. Weaponizing the judiciary for blatant partisan gain diminishes the collective faith in our institutions and sows further division. And then he's retruthing an MSNBC picture of Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, responds to Trump's motion to dismiss the hush money case. So I don't know if you had seen that Fetterman, he wrote, "My first truth." And so John Fetterman is on Truth Social. This guy he is social media savvy. You got to give him that. And he's just such an interesting character to me. As the Manhattan DA has, he's trying to make it. He doesn't want to, as far as he's responding to Trump's attorney's motion to dismiss the so-called, I call it a business bookkeeping case, but it's the so-called hush money case.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh,
So Senator John Fetterman making headlines this morning, and he has a great sense of humor, but maybe, you know what? Who knows? It's such an upside down world. Maybe Fetterman becomes a Republican in 2025. You know what I mean? Nothing surprises me anymore. I don't know.
I don't mean to push back against Fetterman's comments, though, but I don't think it is undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated. I mean, there's still questions that need to be answered about Hunter's role here internationally, his ties to Burisma, Ukraine, how Joe Biden plays into that, whether the war between Russia and Ukraine is driven at all by the relationship between Hunter Biden, the Bidens, and Ukraine. These are important questions to national security. They're not just politically motivated questions, and if you have potential of collusion here, that should be discovered.
Well, okay. On one hand, with Hunter Biden, the convictions are more related, like for example, his tax IRS conviction has nothing to do with the Burisma stuff.
Yep.
So the only reason that you're saying that, Dan, is because when Biden put the pardon out there and said, named the dates. In other words, it was, right beginning when he was on the Burisma board, because everybody was like, well, what happened back over a decade ago? Why 11 years? Yeah. Even Jon Stewart was making fun of it because it sort of pointed that out, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I do think...
Look, to your point, I mean, gun charge, okay, maybe there's truth to politically motivated, or these tax things, sure, but when you're backhandedly, pardoning someone forever and not allowing future investigations, it would, as to your point, suggest that there might be more here.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I think that in one of the Hunter Biden cases, I just think it's curious that, they waited to charge him. So I think the timing matters on these. They say they take a long time to investigate. Obviously, with the Trump case, the fact that one happened, the case that Fetterman's talking about, I mean, that happened nearly 20 years ago at this point. So why would they wait to make sure that everything would be front and center literally the year that Trump is running for president, that one, but the timing matters with all of them. But I think the guy is social media savvy. We know that. That's for sure with John Fetterman. He's an entertaining
figure. Is it him,
figure.
you think, or is it
I think it's him.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's him.
Yeah.
I think that he wanted to join Truth Social because now he's on, what other Democrat is on Truth Social? Right? I mean, come on, that's
Blue
smart.
Sky or whatever that new thing is.
Yeah, or Blue. Oh, geez, that low energy.
Are you on that
thing. Blue Sky?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
I guess I should.
I have no desire to.
So I could see it.
Yeah.
So we'll.
You don't really care about 80% of the opinions that are probably propagated on that website. So
I don't know. I can only take so much, my friend. You know what I mean? We can only take so much.
Would you say that you might need an escape?
Ah, yes. And by the way, this thing, I keep getting memos. This is almost full. This is incredible. I can't
Better
wait.
hurry.
I know. Call today. Get her done. Join me next spring on the Italian Riviera. Seriously, I fell in love again with Italy. And then the study came out and it said, did you know that Italy is the most revisited country in the world? And I thought, well, now I know why. Lorenzo and Romino, they're going to be back with us once again. Conservative Tours, crafting this itinerary that's sure to enchant us. Tuscany, the Riviera, the northern Italian lakes region, Cinque Terre, and dining events that you're going to write home about. $53.78. Yes, that includes your airfare, which is incredible. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence, and the fashion capital of Milan. Call toll-free. Do it. 888-733-9494. Or you can always go to conservativetours.com. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, a tour leader who's absolutely the best. That is Conservative Tours in Italy. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Medina, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. See you in Portofino. ConservativeTours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Inflation, recession, interest rates, the Fed. How do you make sense of it all? Join Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Were you recently hurt while riding in a Lyft or an Uber? You could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, has dedicated attorneys who fight to get you more. Don't let this slip by.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you. Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it.
So the breaking news is that the fingerprints found at the scene of the assassination of United Healthcare CEO now match those of the suspect, Luigi Mangione. There are law enforcement sources being quoted, widely quoted, and this is CNN, ABC News, and others, New York Times. They're quoting law enforcement in New York saying that there were fingerprints found at the, quote, scene of the shooting, and they match his fingerprints now that he's in custody. Remember, he has zero criminal records, so they didn't have his prints on file. But now they have his prints, right, because he's been processed here in I almost said Butler, here in Blair County, Pennsylvania. So this is the first positive forensic match tying the suspect, the now charged suspect, Mangione, directly to the scene where the CEO, Brian Thompson, obviously was gunned down just over a week ago outside that Manhattan hotel.
We got a great caller, John, who's an attorney, who has some more questions about Luigi Mangione's situation, if you want to hear that, Dawn.
Hey, John.
Hello.
Hi.
I know you have a very busy show, Dawn. It's very nice to speak with you.
Thank you.
I have been listening to the Mangione story,
And I really don't understand, considering the evidence, which is entirely consistent with a first-degree murder charge, why he's charged with second-degree murder. Now, I don't know the laws of the state of New York, but I am a little perplexed and wonder if it's not just a Soros-backed DA thing.
I hope you're wrong. I do hope you're wrong.
Well, second-degree murder.
Yeah.
Second-degree murder doesn't fit the evidence here.
Well, you know what? Here was my theory, because when I first reported this, and it was actually earlier, obviously this week on Kale and Company, and I had said, okay, maybe for whatever reason they want to wait until they extradite him and get him to New York, and they slap him at that point with the first-degree charge. But you're saying that they would never do that?
I'm just saying, no, I wouldn't say that. But there may be a kind of a negotiation kind of approach here to get him in the state. But I'm just given the information that is now available, I just don't understand why it would be second-degree murder. That's all.
Yeah, no,
but I do know that some DAs throughout the state are charging lower.
Why?
And there are many cases, I think, because of all the woke considerations and all the liberal approaches to criminal law in some jurisdictions. But I think that this is a situation where, from first blush, and again, it's just evidence. It's not a conviction, but the evidence is consistent with a first charge.
Well, do you think that it makes a difference in something like this, where they now have their law enforcement force? It's being widely reported, so I feel comfortable in quoting this, but all the major networks are quoting New York detectives who say they have a fingerprint match from New York, from the scene. And I'm not sure if they mean the Starbucks or what they mean by the quote-unquote scene, but they say they have a fingerprint match. Does that make a difference in pushing for a first-degree charge?
I did find on Forbes an answer here, what they have. So it says, Mangione was charged with second-degree murder despite allegedly straightforwardly shooting Thompson because New York's first-degree murder law only applies in specific instances, none of which would apply here. First-degree murder law applies in cases where the victim is someone specific, like a police officer, peace officer, first responder, or state correctional facility employee, or in cases like killing someone as part of an act of terrorism or killing a witness to a crime to prevent their testimony. The first-degree murder charge would also apply in cases of, quote, contract killers who enter into agreements to commit the crime in exchange for money or something else of value.
Well, John, he's somebody specific. Allegedly, he went after the CEO very specifically.
Yes, and there's strong evidence of premeditation, and he's killing somebody who's really more a symbol.
Yes, so
if you will, of the whole disgruntlement over healthcare insurance.
Yeah, I wonder if they're impacted by this bizarre obsession with this particular guy, either a lack of either apathy for the victim because of his job, or the fact that some people are obsessed with this guy. And I imagine the family of the victim is horrified to see that.
I'm sure they are, and I feel for them.
John,
but it's just one of those situations where, and it obviously sounds to be a feature of New York law where they have very specific criteria for charging a first. And I apologize, I'm not familiar with the New York law, but still, in Pennsylvania, it would be a first.
John, thanks for the call. Really appreciate you. Thanks a million. You know, there's a story here that security experts are sharing a theory on who's behind these mysterious drones in New Jersey and why I just glanced at this headline in the New York Post, and they're saying, lawmakers, we've told you, they're pushing for all the answers. The experts are saying, well, what if this is part of a super secret military program meant to test new hardware before it actually hits the battlefield? But why would they be flying them specifically over Bedminster?
Yeah.
That's my question. Wouldn't they fly them in a desert? Why would you fly it in New Jersey?
And why so many in formation if they're doing tests as
dopey.
Well. Yeah.
So we'll question that. That's
another theory I heard. I mean, is this a new law enforcement technology that they're trying to roll out and, catch speeders and use facial recognition from afar? And
yeah, there's that. We saw this headline, and this was one of our favorites, the John Kennedy of our day. And as he is confronting a former general who's an anti-Trumper, and, this is Republican Senator John Kennedy, Louisiana, and he always has like the sound. We should do like a sound bite of the day. He always delivers it, but he is clashing with retired Army Major General Randy Manner over the general's criticism of Trump and his supporters as well. This was amidst one of their hearings.
Duty, honor, respect. You talked about that
yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year, you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said. Make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader.
This is a general.
I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time. That's not the purpose of the hearing today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
I love this guy.
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Oh, insulted.
Duty,
I don't think he cares.
honor, and respect. You talked about that in your opening statement, didn't you?
He's a general.
Yes, sir.
Ms.
Yeah, so duty. I love this guy, though. Senator John Kennedy, you always know when you hear his voice, it's going to be good because he calls these people out with his southern gentlemanly way. He talks. Duty. You're a piece of duty, aren't you? General. Army Major General. Anyway, Dom Giordano is in the house with, I know, an incredible Dom show just ahead. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dawn, thanks. We have State Senator Bramnick coming on. He wants all drone traffic shut down over Jersey. I think he favors shooting them down, which I do, too. And I heard Dan say maybe they're trying to observe us in traffic. We don't need any more cameras, any more drones. That's my
Get a $100 fine
right
for speeding.
What we need is the people that are blatantly doing stuff like in Philadelphia to be taken off the roadways when they repeatedly do it. Let the rest of us alone.
Amen.